Hey there, Sloppies. I'm Jamie Hart, one of the co-creators and actors from Sloppy Jones. We'll be premiering the first two episodes of our series at T.O Webfest, presented by Web Series Canada, one of the top web festivals in the world. And T.O Webfest will be running July 22nd and 23rd this year, back in person at Artscape Launchpad in Toronto. I'm here with Rodney V. Smith, the president and one of the founding members of Independent Web Series Canada, producers of T.O Webfest, of which he is also the artistic director.
Yeah, that's me. That sounds all correct. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just to note, the Web Series Canada was formerly named the Independent Web Series of Canada, but that was a bit of a mouthful, so we changed the name.
So, can you actually tell me a bit about Web Series Canada and maybe explain a bit about the history and the mission?
Well, Web Series Canada, or rather the IWCC, when it was founded back in 2013, it was a whole bunch of us web series creators who were just kind of milling about and talking to each other. And it kind of started as a Facebook group, but then we started just having these meetings in different bars and everything, and we just kind of eventually came together because we had the same thought and the same need that we needed to organize so that we could work together much better. Because if you're a web series creator, you know that you have to be kind of a multi-hyphenate. You have to do so many jobs. As a creator, I was the director, I was the writer, I was the set dresser at times, the editor, just occupying so many different roles. According to the the different directors, the person, they actually had different capabilities as well. So somebody would be more suited for music and just editing. Someone else would just be writing and directing. So we had all of these different film backgrounds and come together. So we said we need to work together. I was working out of New York at the time, and I had this similar idea that, and I was saying, you know what, web series really needs to have some kind of union. So I was talking to the guys from Toronto, and I approached them and said, "Hey, I have this idea," and they looked at me and said, "You know what? Come to a meeting next week. We have the exact same idea." So it was kind of the time for it to happen because uh, it, the web series at the time back this is like back in 2012, we were just getting to a point of popularity, and it was exploding. So it was just kind of like all of our minds meeting at the same time, and we just formed the web series Canada group from there.
Because you're multidisciplinary, right? You also write novels and you paint. So you have a ton
Yes.
of different skills.
Yeah, all those skills kind of came before I got into web series, but it actually helped me to become a better web series creator, because being a painter and an artist and a writer, the writing led into screenwriting, which went in naturally into web series creation, and then my multiple jobs, just being just from my art background, I was able to go into different like graphic design jobs. So I went into just sign making for a while. I even learned how to create neon signs and all these different things. Worked as as one of the art PAs on a couple different sets and everything. And I just learned so much through the years that when it finally came time to work on my own show, I knew quite a few things, a few tricks that we could pull to make everything look a little bit more expensive. Like we actually had this sign for a company once that we made out of foam core board, and it looked like one of those. It was lighted from inside and everything, and looked like a big plexiglass sign. But we could just lift it up and just carry around.
That's awesome. I love making things look a little more expensive. That's so web series.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna do it TV preview quality.
yes, exactly. That's the whole point. Like it comes down to the simple placement of things sometimes. Just because you don't have the big expensive sets doesn't mean that you can't make your set look good, and at least make design your frame so that it looks as good as you imagine it to be, rather than just going with what you have. A plain wall is the worst thing that you can have.
So then, can you tell me a little bit about T.O Webfest? Because now you're organizing festivals as well as one of your skills.
Yeah, that kind of came up after the whole launch of the IWCC. It was weird because we formed it, the organization, and we were out there advocating and trying to get the membership to see what their ideas were and everything, and everyone just started asking for a film festival. So Carrie Young and Regan Latimer at the time, they said, you know what, we're going to take this on. So they actually started the ball rolling, and they went and they busted their butts just to get all of the sponsors and everything, and they put this festival together. It was at the Harborfront back in 2013, and it was it was the first of its kind. But we actually had people flying in from Germany and from the UK, and it was a lot bigger than we ever thought it would be.
Of course, it makes sense that like web series makers would want to like show and see each other's projects if they were going to like come together that way. Um,
Yeah,
we
we are each other's biggest fans. It really is a whole community experience, because when you really look at it, it's about not just making a series, but it's about bringing the web series community together and just sharing the ideas, and that's like the most important thing, because we can help each other in so many ways.
Yeah, we actually had we pitched at your pitch fest in 2020, and then we took the feedback that we got from that, and we took it forward to bring us from script to screen, and now we are going to be screening at TO Webfest this year with you. Is there any like exciting programming that's like community oriented that really stands out to you this year that you want to talk about?
There's so many. There's so many personal favorites, and I know so many of the people submitting that it's kind of hard not to be biased. This is why we have a jury. So the jury can actually go and pick the winners and everything. Otherwise, I'd be saying, oh my God, there's my friend over here, and then there's this other friend, and it's like their series looks so good. But one of the things that we always say is that we have some of the best web series in the world, and because it's true. And there's a lot of really, really good content coming from Toronto, coming from Canada itself. Like there's some top-notch stuff the that's becoming out of Montreal, for instance, and it's just remarkable to see. So that, believe it or not, some of the French stuff was actually some of the more favorite programming this year. So everyone should really look forward to that. Apart from that, there's also some English favorites. Maybe I should drop a few names, but okay. Avocado toast is back again this year. There's also a really new one called Sloppy Jones. I don't know if you heard of it. Um, there's also a new one, Lady Ada's Secret Society.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
super excited. That looks so good.
yeah, it's really funny. And then there's also Homeschooled. So we have some really good energetic stuff that is so well produced. It's not funny. It's really good.
Have you noticed like any like trends in web series in terms of length or change in budget this year at all, or maybe just fun genres that everyone's picking up on?
Well, I have found that a lot more of them they seem to have more money behind them. And maybe it's because the producers have a lot more experience at this point. And I was when it first started out, there tended to be a lot more actors just getting a bunch of friends and their stage crew together and just going out and building a web series. But in the years, it's actually it's been changing, and this year in particular, I think because of the whole COVID situation, people have had time to just pull back a little bit and focus more on the filmmaking aspect. So a lot of the projects were really, really strong in terms of the full production. They looked, um, if not well funded, but looked more designed and more. They're a heck of a lot more professional than some people would actually expect a web series, which they keep underestimating us. But we're still here for a reason.
I mean, I know a lot of the programming that Web Series Canada does throughout the year has really benefited us. Like our producer Susan Nation attends a ton of your events, and I feel like as a community, um, it's just advancing so much now. Like it is TV quality very frequently now. Although I still love like when you get a little gem, a low budget gem that just like speaks to you, those are still fantastic.
Yeah, when you have one of those that come out, it really resonates because then when you start digging into it and you look at some of the behind the scenes stuff and talk to the filmmaker, you realize, wait a minute, this guy is out here just doing everything and he's working a regular job. He doesn't have like a huge crew behind him. He's got like three people, and it makes it a lot more impressive when it is actually uh, it when it's standing up there competing with some of the more produced stuff, and it's impressive. So that's the kind of stuff that we love to see because that's where we all came from.
Mhm. Um, so you were mentioning that you had a jury for your decision making, and I was curious, like, what sort of criteria or what makes a web series stand out when you're selecting it for TO Webfest? Is there specific things you look for?
The judges are usually they come from the web series community, or at least from the filmmaking community. So we've had cinematographers judging cinematography, actors judging acting. We try to match the disciplines with the what we're actually judging. So there are different criteria, but we the first one is always filmmaking, the quality of the film, how good it is, how is the story being told, and is it being told effectively? That is because at the end of everything, everything comes down to story.
Is that like the major tip if you had to tell a new creator who had questions about making a great web series, what to do to
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Don't make a skit. Make a story. Make sure that your story is actually saying something and it's going somewhere. It's not just meandering off, just doing its thing. Comedy, for instance, is hard to pull off. But a lot of people seem to think they can do comedy, but comedy is a serious business. I don't know how to say that, but when something's funny, it is actually funny, and you laugh at it. When the joke is forced because it's being overworked or just is the editing is off or something, then we're judging you on the editing for a comedy, for instance. Um, because if the pacing is off, you have the wrong editor. The as much as we can tell that yeah, this was funny, we can also see this could have been funnier if it had been edited a little tighter. So there, I believe all of the judges they see that, and we get some comments on stuff like that. Like the pacing is off. The jokes weren't really sitting. This was actually more suitable for drama, for instance.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I got a little bit off of tangent there off the question, but yeah.
It's good advice. You can go on tangents if they're good advice. I think that's the rule.
Okay.
Well, what are the major benefits for making a web series if you are a creator? Because to me, I always think like you get more, I guess, subject control. Like you get to do something you're really interested in.
Yeah, you get to tell a story that you want to tell without someone leaning over your shoulder and nudging you and saying you should be making this instead. You're telling a story that's closer to your heart and closer to something that you know that you love absolutely and you want to share it. And that is like the absolute core of of the creative community right now. We see it in comic books, like with like online comics, with webtoons, online books like Wattpad, and with the whole web series community, that people are creating stuff they love. So with web series, you have all these mediums coming together, where you're bringing the good stories that you want to tell, the ones that you want to put out there, and instead of going meeting some corporate interests or somebody saying, "Hey, this is what's trending right now." I think a lot of creators actually feel in their bones what's trending, and they are actually writing it before some things are forecast. Like, oh my God, vampires is trending this year, and but you already have your vampire story written and shot by the time the trends are going. So it's it, it the creators are a lot more attuned to the zeitgeist, I guess, and
Mhm.
they're telling the stories that are going to be popular in a couple of months. So it benefits you to just tell the best story you can, because as a web series creator, the hugest benefit that you have is that you can be on the cutting edge, and you can be presenting your story and your talent as a creator, as a producer, to show that you can go and create this entire show over the course of several months, and that you know what you're doing. You are a showrunner.
And then you get to bring it to T.O Webfest.
Well, yes, T.O Webfest is a perfect showcase for some of the best web series. So we would absolutely love to see it at T.O Webfest. Um, the people, it's like the first step for some series going out into the world. Some people are trying to pitch directly to networks, and distributors. We have some connections. We can put you in touch with some of the distributors and some of the funders for a second season funding. Um, uh, for some distributors who are actually looking for new content, or just other web series who are looking to showcase your work, because having a couple of awards under your belt doesn't hurt anybody. You go out there and you win a couple of awards, and you can now put it in front of distributors and say, we won at this web fest and this web fest and this web fest, and it adds to your credibility. So by all means, bring it to your web fest and to some of the other incredible web series festivals around the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Rodney. Where can people find you online if they want to follow you in TO Webfest?
You can find us online at towebfest.com, and our social media is simple. It's TO Webfest. For Web Series Canada, we've also made that incredibly easy. It's Web Series Canada. So webseriescanada.org, and you can, yeah, so Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Just type Web Series Canada, and you'll find us.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you,
great
Jamie.
day, everybody.
Thank you, Jamie. I love the series, and we can't wait to see it at TO Webfest.